thing at reading the news, episode number 153. I just TC. There's a bright spark in the chat. Yes, ask his Green Thunder electrocuted himself.
Be right back.
Yep. And as you guys have heard, Green Thunder has absolutely zero taste in movies.
Green Thunder doesn't have zero taste in general.
Well, he is friends with us.
Yep, you just proved my point here. Well, you proved Scotty's point, actually, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I had friends, I wouldn't be here.
Yep.
Yeah. Hello, English Tom.
Hello, Tommy. Knocker.
How was your arse this morning? Hello, Mandy.
Oh,
wow.
Man. And you came and you took without asking.
Yeah, he said he had really arse. I was just wondering how his arse was. I'm going to shit all that out.
You know, there's a huge irony to something. Figures I just let out one hell of a fart and Mandy shows up.
And here we go reading the news today.
Okay. Hairdresser screams with terror as rampaging deer smashes his way into a salon.
Oh dear.
You would shit yourself, wouldn't you?
It's another Saturday afternoon in Newcastle.
Batman
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
to himself, but I would.
The one question I've got asking this, well, there's two actually, is what the fuck a deer and what kind of a man goes to hairdressers?
The gay kind.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it left.
It's because they wouldn't give him a permanent set.
At least it left on its own accord. Chucker, what was it you're trying to say?
No, I'm actually outside working.
Oh, you're on the crank.
The hairdresser was left screaming in shock after a rampaging deer broke through her salon window and ran amok inside. The stylist screamed, oh my god, after the wild animal broke through the glass gates at the beautiful hair salon. You know what, for that name alone, you deserve that.
Yeah.
At Lake Ronkonkoma, Lake Fall in New York on Saturday afternoon. It was Agent Penis. Agent Penis is Green Thunder. I might make it up.
You can't prove that, but me and Agent Penis have never been in the seen in the same chat twice, or at the same time. How does that saying go?
Except there's a problem we have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have been known to dual wield browsers.
In fact, in the case where you have you'll have one account on your tablet and one account on your computer.
Oh, there's multiple accounts on my computer.
Is it Thunder or is it Eminem? It's Thunder. And hello, Red Feather.
Thunder. No, Thomas,
okay, I don't know if it's insulting that. I don't know whether it's insulting that to me that I sound like.
It is definitely insulting. I would take that as an insult.
One of the he's not good looking. The most not good looking. Well, he's not ugly, but he's not good looking either. Or is it?
You've got to ask who's being insulted.
It's either me for sounding like an ugly person, or Mr. Misanthropic for sounding like a retard.
I'd say both because I wouldn't. The way I wouldn't want to be compared to either of you, to be honest. She was giving a male customer a haircut at the time, but quickly stepped away from the deer. I also managed to injure a woman sitting on the sofa beside the wrecked window. A stylist who wasn't named instructed as unseen staff member to close the back door of the cell. Seconds later, the deer made its exit through the cell's front door, causing further damage. I mean, at least the deer left.
Of its own accord as well.
Yeah, ran and broke a few things and left.
Hot Thunder's mom. You're here early.
Howard! I'm trapped in the bath again!
I was looking for a stag party. Yeah.
Oh. TC.
Yeah, the woman was struck by the deer, suffered minor leg and head pain as a result, and was taken to local hospital. Police were called to the scene of the deer. The deer was long gone by the time they showed up. Hopefully this person has insurance. Oh, it's going to cost a hefty penny.
See, now if that happened in the American South, I guarantee there'd be some redneck jump through the window after it, trying to wrestle it down. Come here, boy. Use dinner tonight.
When did it shoot
it? Trucker, I think if that had happened in the American South, it would have jumped through the window and died in a hail of bullets.
So, true story.
You're not wrong.
When my dog was a puppy, I was walking around Calhaven Trail one time, and a deer came out in front of us. Me and the dog were both chasing the deer, and if the dog wasn't there, I would have tried to jump on it.
You actually make contact with that deer, I guarantee you're going to have a bad day.
Oh, I'm not saying, I know for a fact I would have regretted it, but
can't do the difference in how they say it, just what they say. Make that what you will.
Actually, Thunder, I think you would actually wake up and say, I regret nothing.
Mandy, Green's mother is actually Howard's mother from The Big Bang Theory.
she's not that fat.
She ain't that skinny neither.
True. But most of it's her height. She's only 4'9".
We believe you, Howard.
Does he want his balls waxed? No, he's not honest. Meow.
Thunder
Oh,
mother.
I hear kitty. Whose kitty was that?
All right, you my cat. Mine.
Yeah. Don't burn your.
That is risky.
It sounded like a kitten.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, don't try and
Yeah, she has such a cute little voice.
You squeezed it, didn't you?
No, that's her just normally.
Dean sunk teeth into Pal's face, leaving her permanently scarred and a row over man.
Yeah, and women aren't violent, men are. Remember that.
Yeah, women are just fucking truly awful to each other, aren't they?
Oh, women are angels. Women never do anything wrong.
A teenager sank her teeth into a former friend's face during a vicious nightclub assault over a man a court heard. Daniel Gaffar is facing jail. 19 is facing jail after she bit Kara Strachan's cheek at the night spot in Dundee. That makes a lot more sense now. It was in Dundee. I'm so surprised.
Yeah,
little voice.
That probably wasn't an argument. She probably hadn't anything to eat that day.
Yeah, it's Dundee. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
So it's a case of my shock, imagine it.
It was slim pickings in the Tesco bins that day.
Oh, they've got Tesco's up there now. They're getting good, aren't they?
Yeah, they've had a Tesco for a while in Dundee, actually. The only woman I trust is Red. She never tried to eat my face over a man. Children bite each other, not adults. The mark is described as a significant wound. The doctors said would leave permanent scarring. Yeah, and children under 5 as well. Children and animals, basically. According to the Daily Record, the victim also suffered bruising to her face and forehead. Prosecutor Kirsten Ledford told the court that Miss Strachan had been on the dance floor at the nightclub when she was attacked from behind. Fell to the ground and had her head banged on the floor several times. Fucking Christ. I bet this person only gets a slap on the wrist as well.
Yeah, like judging from the pictures, I would say she is not the name. She's not exactly what you call of European extraction.
And there we go. Primary legal name. See, now we have seen Agent Penis and Green Thunder in the same shot.
Why do you think he's been so quiet?
He's concentrating.
Yeah.
He's getting from Green Thunder to Charles Morris and then Streamlabs and then Agent Penis.
Yeah. So anybody on the continental United States, if you can smell wood burning, it's Green Thunder thinking.
At first, she had no idea who attacked her. But the court heard. The court heard, but she saw it was Gaffer. Gafar.
Yeah.
The court heard the pair, who were both 18 at the time, were formerly friends. Well, I can't imagine they were friends after that. But there had been a falling out, an animosity between them over a man who was a former partner and accused. It was a former partner of the accused. Jesus, look at that. Must have really had to sink her teeth into that.
Yeah.
So one told her friend to bite me. She said, "Okay."
Looking at that, I wouldn't be surprised if at least half of that flesh has got to come out, because it's going to be starved of blood in it.
Yeah, that's a proper gas to the face. That's going to be a scar minimal.
Yep.
And that scar will probably be there for life as well.
Yep, unless she can afford some cosmetic.
It was a girl, part Great White, JFT.
Yeah. Be right back.
I guess they had a threesome.
Grandma, how'd you get that scar? Well, there was this guy.
No, probably not. They were just. I think my friend started. I assume it was. Well, they said it was a foreign partner, so I assume like maybe what happened was they were friends.
I just realized
the ex, and then yeah.
I just realized I was muted for a while.
Yeah.
Good work, Thunder.
Obviously, he's got bad signal, so
operating 3 devices in 2 different browsers at once was too freaking much for my brain. I'm probably not going to do that one again.
What was that Batman was just saying about smoke?
Yeah, Miss Letford told the court that a friend of the victim tried to intervene during the assault, but Giffard put her arm around her throat and she was struggling to breathe. She said the accused then bit her right on the cheek. Why? Are you an animal or something? I know you're from Dundee, but I would expect people from Dundee to be slightly more intelligent than an animal. Slightly, I guess I had too much expectations.
Yeah, apparently he did.
Staff spotted the fracas and intervened, and Gafar was removed from the nightclub and police were called. See, I've been removed from a nightclub for fucking far less than this. I got kicked out of a nightclub because some guy pushed me to the ground, I punched him, and I got removed. And I got kicked out of the nightclub for that. Yeah, bitches be crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
you butthead, get away from my food.
Well, now we know why the cat showed up.
Yeah, the victim was just
I shit you not, when I was talking to you all on Messenger this morning, she also showed up. So it's whenever I'm talking to people.
Okay.
The victim was rushed to Nine Wells Hospital once officers realised the extent of her injuries. Medical staff put 8 snitches in her cheek to repair the bite mark. No, hopefully they did anyway. Yeah, still going to scar over though.
Probably.
She properly dug in there.
I
on the nightclub.
I'm not quite sure how you get that good of a bite in.
Really sharp teeth. Gafar of Teeling Dundee pleaded guilty to assault, which caused severe injury and permanent disfigurement. Chef Tom Hughes told the father the serious matter, and due to her age, she was required to call a social work criminal justice report and restriction of liberty order assessment. He deferred the sentence until the 31st of October and continued bail. I bet she'll just get a slap on the wrist. Calling it right now. Slap on the wrist and nothing done of it, that'll be about it. I once got a lift down 3 flights of stairs by the collar and booted out of a nightclub. Yeah, mine wasn't that bad. Mine was just told, right, you have to leave. If it was a company out the door, I was like, well, I haven't done anything. Also, 13 people, 9 likes. We can do better than that. Oh, people. Anyway, come on. Man had cheeses stuck up his urethra for 4 years.
A what?
How the hell did Man had tweezers stuck up his urethra for 4 years.
Ah. Why?
I don't know. She should do that, bitch. Yeah. Doctors had taken part in a delicate operation to remove a foreign object from a man's penis. Patient 22 had not been named, claimed he did not suffer any pain since he inserted a pair of Jesus into his urethra 4 years earlier. How did you not feel any pain? Was he having a wank or something with them and then just stuck them in there for whatever reason?
That actually can be pretty common.
And here's the thing: how the hell would you piss with that thing in there?
How is not the question. Why is the question.
Yes,
When trained, the human's body's orifice can stretch.
Yeah, but still, like, that's just fucked up beyond belief. Like, why would you ever?
Oh yeah, that definitely.
I bet he feels bad about his girlfriend giving him a shit, not having to go to it. Patient 22 had not been named. What the fuck are you guys talking about? A man who inserted tweezers into his dick. That's what
Come back to this.
Doctors applied pressure on either side of the penis to keep the 2.7-inch tweezers closed while squirting them out of the base of the shaft. If they removed them while they were still open, the sharp ends could have damaged the urethra. I'm pretty sure he's already damaged it to begin with by sticking tweezers up there. It is now known why he inserted tweezers into his manhood, but some... It's not known why he inserted tweezers into his manhood, but some men enjoy putting items into their penis while masturbating. The practice is known as sounding. I don't have a penis and this hurts. Yeah.
I think mine is in hiding right now.
They shout a medical term now. No, but this is the measure. I don't expect them to use medical terms.
I'm going to take this opportunity now to say there's female sounding as well. You're welcome.
Of course, you'd know that. I expect you to know that.
What can I say? I'm a degenerate.
Yeah, did they give you your tweezers back?
I think they have more room to play with.
I might be lonely, but I'm not that lonely.
Actually, the urethra would be, well, it's a shorter urethra for females, but I think it's probably about the same diameter.
The procedure was reported to the urology case reports who said the man visited a clinic in Saudi Arabia where he revealed his history of inserting medical items into his urethra. So, yeah. Why? I'm doing not bad straight to mail yourself.
Hello,
Well,
honey
being-
monster.
Well, being linked to sexual gratification, doctors said people do it because they're drunk or have psychotic issues. So they have some issues, yeah. Also, hello, honey monster. They don't often present themselves to doctors because of the embarrassment and only seek help when problems occur. I think we do have problems in Hello Wikipedia snippet. In this case, the patient did not suffer any problems with urinating and was found in good physical health. I have no idea how. X-rays revealed where the cheesers were, showing the closed end and had become embedded into the bulbous sheath at the top.
Let's face it, he only went to the doctors because he couldn't close his fucking zipper.
Cheesers were wiggled out. Well, the patient was under general anesthetic and used forceps to finish off. This is the most friendly chat on YouTube. Disagree.
I think people are trying to talk to each other in chat instead of listening to this story.
That's always the way. This article quantifies as too much information.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do, Green.
We spend a quarter of the stream saying hello to each other. That's pretty much. That's a pretty common occurrence here, though, to have the chat to have nothing to do with the actual article itself. I've gotten used to that now.
I think that's a YouTube thing, not just a here thing.
No, because I noticed it on the people's chats, like they have to talk about the article and stuff, whereas mine has literally nothing to do with the article most of the time.
Yeah, fair enough. Although, and Batman, you're starting to sound like me. Mute, unmute, mute, unmute, mute, unmute.
Hello, Langton Prick. Doctors wrote at the end of the procedure, no urethral catheter was inserted. The patient voided well and went home post-procedure. The patient was recommended to undergo a psychiatric evaluation, but he refused. The patient did not follow up with the outpatient department. But because he decided it was a good idea to stick more things up his dick, probably. Why don't you just buy a fucking sex doll or something? If you're that lonely. Hey, where's John Boy? Here's John Boy.
Do you not know John Boy?
My stream was buffering. No, it looks fine to me. Yeah, it looks fine to me.
John Boy is Mary Ellen's eldest brother.
Yeah, fair enough.
He has no clue.
I wonder if with this one, I wonder if he was indoctrinated or just acting. Extinction Rebellion dad sobs on camera as he's very frightened for his two young kids' future. Sex doll, how was yours doing? I'll say the same thing that I said to. I'll say the same thing that I said to Honey Monster. I may be lonely, but I'm not that lonely. I still have the right hand.
What's your name? I'm just a father of two children that's very frightened of their future. How old are your children? They're 10 months and 4 years. Yeah, no. I didn't know that. You see a picture? Those are the picture of your children? Yeah.
Say, he won't be winning any Oscars anytime soon, will he?
Nope. Hey, Extinction Rebellion guy. Nice polyester jacket you got there, bud.
Is that guy on Molly? Probably. Yeah, he's just like.
They're all middle class.
There's not even tears coming out of that. He says he saws. He's just making fucking noise.
Idiots. That's all they are. They've got nothing better to do, and all they're doing is trying to get attention.
Yep. Walk talk. I agree. Goddamn, where is Cryptic? He usually is the.
I think it would have been horrible, but also funny if the car had actually reversed and crushed his arm.
I think it really across his head.
Speaking of cryptic, did you hear the death cryptic had for you that Ranting Monkey read out?
Yes.
It was a good one.
Yeah, why is he lying on the ground? Because they do that. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they even glue themselves to the road as well. Weird people. I thought I started crying on camera. No, he didn't. His crocodile tears are the best.
I thought he was laughing.
No, apparently he was meant to be crying, but really it was terrible. It clearly,
Yeah,
I
he
make
read,
so sorry, but he did a terrible job at it.
he read the script and he couldn't stop laughing at it.
I mean, fucking Greta Thunberg done a better job at crying than that.
You get a random stock photo off the internet and try to fool people. Doesn't work.
As he was very frightened for the future of his young children. The father of two clutched a photograph of his kids as he lay on the ground and lay on the street during demonstrations that are taking over the streets of the capital. Hundreds of people have taken over the city's roads as they demand action on climate change, with the dad saying he would be there to stand up for his young children's future.
Why is he lying on the floor?
I mean, the man's. I am worried about them. If they're as smart as their father, they're probably going to forget how to breathe.
I'll tell you what, if they're even like his father, they don't ever take acting gigs. Don't ever take an acting gig. Well, his children are probably too stupid to survive anyway, yeah.
That's what I said.
The photos he pulled out, right? I mean, look at the size of them. Nobody carries photographs of the family around that big. And they're undamaged as well.
Yeah, and also you would think these days it would be on a phone, not just physical copy like that.
Yeah.
That's usually the case. Usually these are because the kids usually on a phone. You should be laying in dog piss. I always laying in dog shit. I feel like a seagull give a long shot on him as well.
How many people drunkenly peed in the middle of the night right where he's laying?
Well, if I was there, I wouldn't be doing it drunkenly, but I'd still be peeing where he's laying while he was laying there.
If they were space aliens, they might have a hard time telling if people were laughing or crying. They sound very similar. He's a really big walrus. Well, waste of paper. Waste of paper.
Yeah.
You could have easily had that on the phone, but no, you just decided to waste paper. Cut down trees. Hypocrite.
Oh, look at the last stunt they pulled with the bloody fire engine. I mean, how much pollution was that causing?
I did fucking hypocrite, did fucking wasting paper.
They're kind of inconsistent, aren't they?
Yeah, he's a really big wallet. Really big wallet, but no money to fill it. I mean, if he's doing this in the middle of the day.
That's not cheap stuff he's wearing. If he's able to do this in the middle of the day and dress in those clothes, he's got a bobber too.
Yeah, probably got his dad or something.
If you notice,
And the man was laying on the ground when he was asked what his name was, but instead replied, "I'm a father of two." That's very frightened for the future.
That's a really good name.
Was he not saying?
father of two.
I think they didn't cast that one. I'll read that one after, actually. A father of two that's just very frightened of their future. He took a picture of his little child and baby, holding up as he wept. He didn't really weep. He just sort of like pretended to cry. Fucking fakest cry I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. Now, you notice none of these Extinction Rebellion, like working class. None of them are short of a bob or two.
Yeah, because a lot of them come from all over the place.
Yeah.
Londoners are braced for the second day of travel hell as Extinction Rebellion protests set up tents across the city, closing all major roads and bridges. I think we'll just mow them down. I can't believe she won what a bunch of years. And we'll talk about it after. And it's going to continue for yesterday, the first day of the fortnight of action. Last night, PM Boris dismissed the protest as uncooperative. Trustees who should abandon their hemp-smelling balaclavas. Fuck knows. I can't read. It's in the title, people.
Bivouacs.
Patchouli.
And stop blocking roads. Speaking at the launch of Charles Moore's biography about Margaret Thatcher, he said the best thing for the education of the descendants of having hemp-smelling balaclavas.
Bivouacs.
I don't know. Is that even a word?
Yeah.
And now let Trafalgar Square and Hyde Park would be.
It's kind of like a tent.
I didn't just say a tent then.
Because it's not a tent. It's just like a tent. They just do it to annoy you, Scotty.
And apparently doing a pretty good job.
Like over Charles' magnificent group so they can learn about true feminist, green and revolutionary and change the world for the better. Johnson said he had been advised by his security staff to attend last night's book's launch because the road was full of uncooperative cross-season protesters while kind of littering the road. The police arrested 319 activists by midnight, far more than the 100.
I think you should have just shot them.
Far more than the 120 figures arrests made during the April protest. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pissed off are you marking it so far? On what?
As MC keeps saying, whenever he's on about people like this, the biggest polluters in the world are India and China.
Yeah.
If they want to stop polluting, they put on a uniform and they go and stop India and China polluting. But they won't.
I say, I fuck these people.
Yep.
Mum 33 who said she would have aborted her son with Down syndrome if she'd known wins a huge NHS payout after the test wasn't done. Get fucked.
Seriously?
Seriously.
This is the wrong use of abortion, and also fuck her.
And taxpayers' money as well. It's a wrong use of taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncooperative trustees, not to be confused with Krusty the Clown. Yeah. A woman who said she would have aborted her son and she'd known he had Down syndrome has won a huge NHS payout. Etienne Mortel, he was devastated when son Alexander was born. With the condition, I would not have wanted their child to suffer that way, the way disabled people suffer. You know what? Move to Iceland.
Disabled people like Down syndrome only suffer at the hands of cruel people who don't have Down syndrome.
Yeah, it's red fair that it was the taxpayers that paid the settlement. Since giving birth, on you go. Yeah, she needs down to the river of a ostrich ship, vile fucker. Yeah. Since giving birth at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in 2015, Henrietta is about Greta. No, I assume Greta would be the fucking. Greta's probably a daughter.
No, it's not about Greta, honey.
Only few people are breathing. She's given birth at the Royal Hospital in 2015. She has devoted herself to caring for him, but claims she would have ended pregnancy if the internet screaming had conducted show her she had Down, so that he had Down. Well, why did you care for him then? Why didn't you just put him up for adoption if you didn't want him that much? You know?
I remember back in the day, this kind of story, she would have had to go into hiding.
What for this kind of what for?
for her
Having
attitude.
a kid with Downs, or for getting an NHS payout for having a kid with Downs?
No, for just my kid's got a disability. I wish I had him basically put down before he was born. An horrible fucking attitude.
Sterling is this cunt. I'm not sick, but I'm not well. I'll tell you this, sick this person. Yeah, but the High Court, Mr. Justice Jane, ruled against the Royal Berkshire and Hospital NHS Trust and awarded more the compensation which could amount to around £200,000. He said the sonographer who conducted Miss Mordell's 12-week scan had failed to obtain her informed consent going ahead to put the Down syndrome screaming. She still said she's a horrendous person. Her son deserves better. Paranoia, everyone's coming to get me. We'll stop taking drugs, I guess.
One of my friends, his brother had severe Down syndrome, and they didn't need £200,000 to bring that guy up. He died.
Pretty normal lives, don't they?
It depends how severe they are. I mean, some of them have attendant, disabilities. He did. He had 2 club feet. Yeah, but they didn't need the kind of specialist care that this bit's probably going to go for if she goes for any.
Like some even have their own houses and stuff, or like they live in.
You get people with who basically high functioning Down syndrome.
Yeah, they have their own house and stuff, where like will be like sheltered housing, where like something will have like an alarm or something in case something goes wrong, but they'll just generally live by themselves.
My problem is this: if this kid ends up with just a slight case of it, and is mostly normal, how much is it going to fuck with that kid's head once he finds out that mom flat out said, "I would have killed you"?
Even if he's like somewhere in the middle, it's going to fuck with his head.
Yeah, if he's intelligent enough to understand like what's going on.
Right. If he's smart enough to grasp the fact that mommy said, "If it was up to me, you would have died." Fuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be, and it's out there as well. So, yeah.
Good
Previously,
point.
lawyers estimated the claims were worth more than £200,000, which would be used to cover the increased cost of bringing up a child with Down syndrome. But many people have kids with Down syndrome. They don't need £200,000 payout, do they?
No. On £200,000, you've set yourself up for life.
You certainly set the kid up for life anyway. Should certainly set the kid up for enough for.
The kid's probably not going to see a penny.
And the Polish-born mum can get the fuck back to Poland. My training in Berkshire worked as a production operator and an unplanned 2014 pregnancy with Alexander came as a surprise. During the time of her damages claim earlier this year, her barrister, Claude Bradley QC, said Miss Mordell was concerned about her baby immediately after he was born with cesarean section in January 2015. Holy fuck, look at the size of that spider. Jesus.
That's cute.
It's not cute. And random, but I could just see it and just fall into the corner of my eye and it was just bugging me. Like,
I would so totally pet the spider.
I would not pet the fucking spider. I'd kill the fucking spider.
Oh, my cat would totally pet that spider.
I'm surprised she isn't also a new chicken by proxy, though. I want to feel my tongue, but it doesn't. It feels fine. She can use it to pay respite care. Well, she lives child-free life. She apparently wants. I'm going to turn off time and kill my wife. When told of his diagnosis, she's noted as being very upset and angry, and because she believes she'd been given the all clear after the screaming of the unborn baby. Well, no, you weren't, because you didn't do the test. She sued the NHS for wrongful birth.
She probably got offered the test and goes, "No, I do not wish to take test."
How is it their fault? It's nobody's fault. It's just an unfortunate thing that happened.
More people trying to make it where their actions are not their fault, when clearly she took the dick, she knew the risk, it's her fault.
No, it was purely accidental. There was this guy with his dick out lying on the floor, and she kept falling over.
She's claiming that she'd had the screaming and Downs was confirmed. Even had she had the screaming and Downs confirmed, she would have aborted the unborn son. I recited most of the song, did I? Yeah, I didn't sing it though, and I didn't get paid for it, so I ain't singing it. She said in the witness box, I saw how difficult it is. I saw how difficult his life is, and I would not have continued my pregnancy. I would not have wanted a disabled child. I would not have wanted my child to suffer the way disabled people suffer. I wouldn't have brought my child into a world like that. Many of the trust, however, claimed Miss Mardell has declined to have Down syndrome screaming, and that's why it was not done. Well, how the hell did she win then? Opinionated Scotsman as Harvey Danger, that's a show out of 10. Although she had been booked in to have a test when she saw the sonograph. How old is the child? I assume 3 or 4 if you fell pregnant in 2015, so 3 or 4 my guess would be.
Oh, Scotty, I've put a link to that article about the spider in the Discord group.
Hopefully Peter sees it, he doesn't like spiders. Although she had been booked to have a test, when she saw the sonograph, she said no when asked if she wanted it. The ultrasound reports recorded Down screaming declined, showing she had refused it. Miss Mardell said she'd been leaving all along that the screaming had taken place, and declined meant a high risk of Downs was not detected. Well, how would you know if you didn't take the fucking screaming?
Mandy, I like that question. How many Downs years was he?
20.
What?
I don't know. It just sounds funny.
Does it?
It does to me. Leave me alone.
No.
I'm just wondering how much is he suffering versus her. Well, she's not suffering. She's just got a £2,000 payout. She's got £200,000 payout. I wouldn't be suffering after that.
He has to suffer with a mom that is a complete and utter cunt.
Yeah.
The filthiest of cunts.
Yeah. I mean, £200,000 to me. I'm 55. I've probably got about 20 years left, so that's 100,000.
Who wants ice cream?
10 years.
Me.
So there's 3 people who want ice cream. How you going to get it to them?
Internet?
Got it.
I want
Tell her
nothing.
Tell her I'm in Maryland. Get to driving.
Yeah, truckers in Maryland, you should get to driving. Bring them a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah, put an element because me and Scott, you're in the UK.
Yeah, a bit difficult.
Yeah, you go to work Thursday, therefore you have enough time to drive to Maryland.
Yeah, and if there's an airport there, you can just fly to.
I don't have enough gas money there.
You can just fly to England and drive to Scotland, and then yeah.
Wikipedia snippet, that was my mother.
Howard.
Her initial question to Mardell had been abrupt, and her follow-up did not go far enough. She knew and ought to have known that Miss Mardell had indicated professionally that she wanted the Down syndrome screaming. Well, she already had the screaming. She was offered the screaming and said no. She knew and ought to have known this is, or at least likely to be her expectation when she walked into the room. Sonogram should have been expecting a yes answer, but instead she heard the opposite.
Yeah, it's funny how they use the excuse which is coming up.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this time I find it prompted no further inquiry. Miss Mardell, for whom English is a second language, failed to protest the question, and the reflex response was to say, no, we'll learn English better then.
Yeah, they usually say that, and yet they understand English so well they can hold down a fucking job where they need to speak English all the time, read English, write English. Yeah, they can communicate with people around them quite fluently. Bollocks.
She's not an excuse.
Yep.
Big fact, but the Big Bang Theory is a terrible program.
I can't say I've
Sorry,
ever actually seen it.
You should be glad you've never seen it. From that point on, she fully believed the screaming had been undertaken and the baby was healthy. Surely would have known that. Well, no, because how would you have known that? Surely would have said your baby doesn't have Down syndrome. How did you thought the screaming had been taken? I mean, surely would know whether your English was that good or not. You wouldn't have known you'd had a test for that kind of thing. Surely, you would think. I wonder what the child's father thinks.
She probably hasn't told him.
Yeah.
The child's father was dumb enough to stick his dick in this chick, so probably not a lot.
It's about one night stand or something.
Yeah, she's probably going to hunt him down and make him pay for the rest of his life.
One night stand, but which team? Because probably the whole team. That's guaranteed. Anyway.
Are you trying to say she's somewhat easy?
He said that.
No, I'm not. There's no somewhat in what I'm saying.
He said that further point, Miss Cordell's midwife had failed and she had to explore why the scream had not been taken when she initially agreed to it. Because it means that she's entitled to damages to pay for more from the NHS Trust, where lawyers claiming that she should get more than £200,000. I wonder what percentage of that the lawyers are getting. Well, fair amount of it.
Oh,
She's getting money because she likes to wear her panties around her ankles.
by the sounds of it, she likes to wear her panties on the fucking kitchen floor.
That too.
In so-called wrongful birth cases, compensation is paid out to the additional costs of bringing up a disabled child. The judge added, nothing I said in this judgment should be interpreted as suggesting that the child of Down syndrome must be seen as unwelcome. Some parents have ethical objections to the termination of pregnancy, and for them, discussion ends at that point. They give you a probability rate of Downs after the testing. Amniotic fluid. Testing the amniotic fluid. Is the father around? I have no idea. The father has not been mentioned so far, so I don't know.
My fathers aren't important these days, are they?
No.
If the father is smart, he'd be far away.
If the father is smart, he'd probably give her a fake name, ID, and telephone number.
I think if the father was smart, the father would probably try and get fucking custody. Conspiracy theory: Green Thunder mother is really Skittles putting on a lady voice and shouting at Green. To be honest,
That's canon now.
Skittles already has a pretty effeminate voice anyway.
Not as effeminate as some, but
Other parents also accept the possibility of having a child with Downs syndrome without a shred of concern or reluctance. Well, that's the way it should be.
actually, Tom, when you hear Thunder's mother, you realise that Thunder is actually a cross-sex clone of his mother.
The state expresses no judgment either way, but it's the policy of the NHS that Down screening must be offered to all expectant mothers, the premise being that they wish to exercise the right to proceed to medical termination in the event of a diagnosis. These various wishes and decisions must be are respected without comment. Yeah, fucking haven't done this for a while, so Jewish share, I give a G to gas for this person. So I say G to gas.
Ava Nagila. Exactly, Mandy. Exactly.
Who's the same person? Green Thunder and
His mother.
Skittles.
No, Green Thunder and his mother.
No, all three of us are the same person.
Yeah, they really need to be beaten shitless for that.
Fusion Rebellion slam for defacing the literally right horse symbol with their right horse with their symbol. Activists deface Wilshire Owen Barnes white horse with Extinction Rebellion symbol. I think this in the case isn't damaging the environment even more, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's all I care now. I mean, they didn't make the horse, but they made it even harder to. They made it even harder. If they wanted the grass to go back, they made it even harder now.
It just kind of reminds me when Greenpeace screwed with the Mazca lines.
I mean, the locals branded Sunday stunt using cloth over chalk as misguided vandalism. And Chucker is also crappy. No, crappy is crappy.
They have been known to be in the same place.
At the same time,
The lefty group,
using the same headset.
Dun, dun, dun.
which they placed on the chalk
What
horse.
was that, Crappy?
I mean,
But I heard him for a second.
he comes after the unannounced spearhead of huge restoration project in August when hundreds of children and their parents rechalked the world's famous monument. The landmark in Pewsdale was spread with 46 tons of pristine chalk after Molly Sullivan and 11 helped their dad Rob to make the dream become a reality. We just blew the lid off this year.
I think that they should all be rounded up and they should be sent to France by trebuchet.
I said into like a Middle Ages simulator. I just put them into like stuff fucking some really cheapy poor village in Africa. That's kind of what they want, isn't it?
Yeah, but they get to
They
live
can live
that
there.
way. That's the thing, they get to live that way.
Yeah, it's a shit life though. I'd rather be dead than completely not to fucking
Yeah, but
build a life into some shitty mud hut.
in my way, yeah, they get taken to the cliffs of Dover, loaded into a medieval siege weapon, fired across the fucking horizon, spend a minute or two in the air in absolute abject terror before
Yeah, but that's too
their
fast.
fate ways below.
But that's too fast. So there's not enough pain involved in that.
I don't know. I mean, there's the impact of hitting the waves, which isn't going to kill you, but it's going to hurt a lot because it's going to break a lot of bones. Then they drown.
No, Red Feather, I'm not Batman. How does that even work? We don't even sound
No,
the
say we're talking at the same time.
we don't even sound remotely alike.
Here's the thing. Have you ever, like, I don't know, how much have you played video games and had like there's some of those 10-second timers that feel like they take forever
Yeah,
when your
that's 'cause-
adrenaline's in.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about either.
And also, Red Feather, me and Batman technically aren't even in the same country.
You've never had like a 10-second time period take forever?
No, it usually takes 10 seconds. Well, unless, of course, the game's frozen.
Please say Trebuchet again. Whose English makes it more northern than the skill.
Trebuchet.
Now that, Mandy, now that one's an insult.
That's, yeah, to Omegon.
Yeah, it is.
And Megan's got a nice voice.
I bet you Omegon's better looking too.
That's just rude.
I do love his beard. You know, the tentacles.
Are you saying you like fucking lobster?
No,
Squid.
lobsters don't have tentacles.
I can't be honest talking about it a minute.
I actually prefer cuttlefish.
Okay, so apparently Green Thunder has a sexual proclivity for cuttlefish.
Yeah, no one is better looking than Baby Scott.
Okay, I'm going to have to agree with that.
Baby Scott. Do, 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 do.
It's also in his tail feature.
Nope.
A lot of people used to confuse me for tail feature for some bizarre reason.
That's because you're the same person.
No, he lives in the islands. I don't live in the islands.
You're still roughly the same country.
Yeah, it's the same country, but I don't live in the islands.
Well, I'm just glad that the opinionated Scotsman didn't go to jail when he caught that pug to do that thing.
No, the pug already was the Nazi. It's just
no, you got it wrong.
opinionated Scotsman filmed it.
You've got it wrong. Opinionated Scotsman was the pug.
Okay, he's not that ugly.
That pug was cute.
No, I've seen some people who look like pugs, and they are ugly.
People like to have said in the past I look like a pug.
I'm going to retract my earlier statements. Maybe Scotsman was the pug.
No.
Hey, Scotty,
Yeah.
if you kicked out anybody that would call you ugly and all, I wouldn't blame you.
Hey, Crappy, I don't need to be nosy, but was that a woman's foot we just saw on your camera?
Do what? Didn't hear you.
I said, was that a woman's foot we saw on your camera?
Whatever you want it to be.
I thought Ireland and Scotland were the same thing. No, they're not. And Big Joe said I don't think you're a pug. You see the Black Power pug? You never got in trouble for that. Of course you didn't. North Koreans think Trump admin talks are sickening, so should you. Well, North Koreans think what they're told to think. North Koreans don't exactly think what they're told what they should think.
Yeah, you mispronounced it. It's Chileans.
What?
It's Chileans. They call themselves Chileans.
Oh, people that are what they think what they're told to think. You're both mispronouncing it. It's called Democrats.
Yeah,
And you're-
Democrats, North Koreans, what's the difference?
In your mispronouncing, they call them Democrats.
If President Trump was thinking a deal with his friend Kim Jong-un might distract from his trouble, only better thing again. The abrupt end of working-level negotiations between the US and North Korean officials in Stockholm over the weekend yet again proves the talking isn't working. Kim thought he would suck at us because the president's statements, because of our alliances are in trouble because he believed Trump wanted a foreign policy success, said David Maxwell, retired Special Forces Colonel and Senior Fellow at the Foundation for Defensive Democracies. We have to keep pushing Kim to really conduct negotiations, but the minute we give him giving concessions, he has won and we have lost. Half the co-host and half the chat are the same person. No, I actually have viewers. Conspiracy theory, we're all figments of my warped imagination. If hiring of the hawkish John Bolton asked for security advisor helped Kim think he could get what he wants. The North Koreans of Stockholm yet again confirmed that Kim is not about to give up his precious nukes. The nuclear program was initiated by his grandfather Kim Il-sung, perpetrated by his father Kim Jong-il, and is now the centerpiece of Kim's defense policy. The thing is, they'll never actually use them because they're too scared to use them. It's literally just like, don't touch us, we have nukes. That's it, pretty much. North Korea's foreign ministry left no doubt about his future of his talks. We have no announcement to hold such sickening negotiations as what happened this time. Throwing cold water over the session in Stockholm. It lasted 8 hours and 30 minutes. US negotiator Stephen Begun had tried in vain to present ideas that Americans should have known and would be unacceptable. The South Korean official identified only as a spokesperson, possibly Vice Foreign Minister Cho Sun-hai. He's a key figure in the talks. The US explicitly mimicked Washington's demand for complete, verifiable, denuclearization. The US said the spokesperson must take a substantial step to make complete universal withdrawal of the hostile policy towards the DPRK. They're not actually going to get rid of the nukes unless the US get rid of the nukes, are they?
Nope.
They're that stubborn.
The US aren't going to get rid of the nukes.
Another thing as well, like, even if the US offered them money, which they probably already have done,
Uh-huh.
North Korea's going to be like, no, we don't want your money. It's the US, we don't want your dirty money. Stop sucking on that vape. I don't know what's vaping. I have balls. I smoke. Sweet taste of cancer. Statement wound up with a threat intended to catch the attention of Trump as he contemplates maybe a third summit with Kim. It's forced of the Kenya impromptu meeting on the North Korean South Line and falling at the end of June.
Oh, that was good.
What was good?
Whatever made me cough.
I wish I had the message of the US again. Finger points. And the old scenario, said the spokesperson, the dealing between the DPRK and the US may immediately come to an end. Indeed, the statement included the fate of the future of the DPRK-US dialogue depends on the US attitude. Attitude at the end of this year, steadily.
By the way, Wikipedia. I am your father.
I don't know if vaping in one stream sounded just like Darth Vader. It was funny as hell. I have vapes are bad, I don't care. Yeah, you're gonna get drop lung or something.
Luke, I am your father. Who's your daddy? Anyway.
The Americans, for their part, seem to think another round of talks would just be a thing to hand off lemon deadline tests, skimming spine of the crisis, similar to that of 2 years ago, when tests of nuclear warheads and long-range missiles were the norm. I think pretty much that was just to try and fucking scare the Japanese, wasn't it? That's what it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
Because they hate the Japanese almost as much as they hate the US, so that's what they tried to do. Like
The North Koreans hate everybody who isn't North Korean.
Yeah, but they especially hate the US and the Japs. They hate the Japs. The media calls them, the North Korean media will call them the Jap bastards. That's how much they hate them. Yeah, Batman is probably the last person on here I expect to be choking on something. I hope Pumpkin Chucker is vaping pumpkin spice. It's all the rage this time of year.
Actually, it's butterscotch caramel cream. It's fitting. The flavor is actually called Grumpy Old Bastard.
You might want to send some to Bloodwing then.
State Department spokesperson Morgan
I don't know. Bloodwing's not that grumpy.
Ortega said the US was expecting Sweden's invitation to meet again in 2 weeks, but North Korea was having none of it. Yes, it's been a complete underground story, even in Mr. Dark. But both sides are open to meet. The TV said the North Korean spokesperson, but it's unlikely that it can produce a proposal with relate to the expectations of the DPRK and to the concerns of the world in just a fortnight. Statement declared the US failed to open up with the North Koreans call a new calculation method, dismissing out upon the litany proposals that being put to the table. The exact nature of the calculated method was not clear. Presumably, it calls for prolonging moratorium on testing nuclear warheads, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and exchange for relief from sanctions. The North might even expand the aging nuclear complex at Yongbyon, while fabricating warheads elsewhere in a step-by-step process immune from serious implications. And would surely press for an end-of-war declaration under which the US would have done. Well, would have to withdraw most of its 28,000 troops from South Korea.
Yes, North Korea.
Korea's pretty much all I can say about that one. North Korea is just being a cunt. Isn't that Mario, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, what eyes. NK is full of shit. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yes, and Mandy G killed Heath Ledger.
Retrospective sexism. How women are being written out of the British indie music industry.
Fuck off. We need your consent. Oh, yeah, you can tell it's a feminist page.
Yeah, but it didn't say anything but yes, it's consent. It just says I agree. I didn't say yes.
You still give your consent.
No, because anything but yes is anything but yes isn't consent. Therefore, I didn't say yes.
What backward logic are you using?
Feminist logic,
Ah, that explains it.
by which means no logic. Oh, fucks for.
You are right. Feminist logic is one of those oxymorons you hear so much about.
Are women really letting out the British indie music industry? No. Are the women bitching about trans women again? No. But I didn't know he was talking about. No, anyway.
They're not being written out of British music.
Presently, my experience and appreciation of British rock, indie, and Britpop went further into manic hysteria and wanting to shag the lead singers. Isn't that technically fucking? That's harassment, isn't it? There have been a good few in 90s music retrospective dancing about the Island of Fate, featuring the unusual stock footage of the Oasis at the Brits, Blur's Knees Up, Parklife 15, Tony Blair at the Dawn of Downing Street. The latest example was the episode of BBC 4's music from Mistress series was looked at the story of Britain's indie scene. Blur and Oasis are they stuck in the 90s? Well, they're talking about 90s music, so yeah. I'm on board. I'm stuck in the 90s. In one episode in particular, the indies journey into mainstream in the 1990s, beginning with Arthur's House and ending with Britpop. The pundits rolled their eyes about the Battle of the Bands, triumph of Lariscope, Britism, and music industries promoting Britpop at the beginning of the end, an exciting era in British indie. It's ironic given these complaints about Lattice that it wasn't all 55 minutes in the behind opinions of a woman. Music journalist Zion Partington. As a female music fan, you get used to this stuff. Your experience is either ignore reviews as an mysterious phenomenon. Well, just because it came from a woman doesn't mean that you have the same experience as them.
No,
That's fucking retarded.
that's the left for you.
And it doesn't fucking make sense. I mean, for all we know, that woman could have went to like several Blur and Oasis concerts back in the day. You don't know that. Just because you have the same genital doesn't mean you have the same life experience when it comes to things. Like, what kind of logic is that? Your deep love and appreciation for the band will be written off as manic hysteria. No one has ever said that ever. When has anyone ever said that? Or just dismiss it as a desire to shag the lead singer. Well, you literally said that at the fucking beginning of the article. You wanted to shag the fucking lead singer. Hey, look.
All I gotta say when it comes to giving me Alyssa White Loose from Arch Enemy and Simone Simmons from Epica, and I'm good.
Wasn't there a lead singer of Fleetwood Mac for a second? Or am I mistaken? It's stupid.
You're right.
Stevie Nicks, yeah.
Yeah.
You said it just a minute ago. Well, they said it just a minute ago. How about Janis Joplin? Well, she died in like 1970 or something, didn't she? What do you guys think was the best band in the 90s? Oasis. Yeah.
No. That's the thing. Women who do well in the music industry get the same praise and recognition as men who do well in the music industry. It just happens that there's a lot less women go into the music industry.
When they do, they generally go to pop, and so they don't usually go into like more rock music.
You know, Fergie was okay. I don't know what happened to her.
She
You really need to
married
look into American
Prince Andrew.
country music there, Scotty. It's about 50-50.
Oh, freaking! How did I forget? What's her face?
Yeah,
Roseanne Cash, Alison Krauss.
The one that did Before He
what?
Cheats.
Green Thunder. What happened to Fergie was she married Prince Andrew.
Before Taylor Swift,
No,
Carrie Underwood.
I'm looking it up now. Actually, I think it's in my Discord.
My knowledge, country kind of died mid-90s. Fair warning.
Responsive male fans occupy center stage when it comes to how a scene is formed. A band was perceived, and the female counterparts in the main are portrayed as kind of a sideshow. Even by normal music documentary standards, though, which is obviously setting the bar very low. This music from this episode was extraordinarily sexist. Women artists barely featured at all. Well, that's because they're all about fucking rock music. There's barely any women in rock. There's not that many women in rock music, is there?
And the one, like it says, the ones that are get mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Straight Hit, The Who is freaking awesome. I love them.
Well, how did I miss putting that in that list?
The HU or the WHO?
The HU. Mongolian metal.
Ah.
And when they did, they usually were brought to man the privilege of being named. Maureen Lambert, the vocalist for Internet's first single, was referred to as a girl by one pundit, and when she got to Britpop, men pontified while footage of Elastic and Sleeper flashed in the flash past. That's because when people think of Britpop, they only think of Blur and Oasis. That's it. And Blur and Oasis, members of Blur and Oasis were men.
Oh yeah, and the pop charts. I mean, Spice Girls.
And Spice Girls weren't Britpop though; they were another thing.
Apparently, they were supposed to be Britpop, but yeah, I don't care. I thought it was shite.
They weren't Britpop though.
And it was Carrie Underwood that does the song Before He Cheats. It's a really good song.
I think one of the worst.
It's all right.
One of the worst music lasts from the early 2000s has got to be "Girls Are Crap." I mean, "Girls Are Loud."
I don't like her much, but I must admit, Lady Gaga's pretty talented. Lady Gaga isn't that bad. Does anyone in England still listen to The Corner Shop? I love them. And the only
No.
person from England here is Batman.
I don't know who The Corner Shop is unless she's on about an actual shop that's on a corner.
But the groups themselves weren't mentioned or named, discussed at all. Emma Jackson, psychologist for the on former basis in the another band right now. The story because they're fucking bands nobody's fucking heard of.
Yep.
All this in these retrospective sexist problem. It's retrospective because it doesn't matter how important your contribution at the time was or how knowledgeable you and involved you were. It's because you're plucking ones and bands no one's ever heard of. Corner Shop did the bin full of ash. Oh, I've seen. Oh yeah, I've heard that here.
Yeah, just can't make this shit up, can you?
Very little of people will be remembered by records in the annals, or should we say mammals of the time. It's because nobody's heard of them.
You noticed how I can name several different female singers and musicians. So they're obviously not getting discriminated against. They are looking at a specific genre, which I know nothing about. So,
And
the cherry,
bands that nobody's really heard of that often.
yeah, and the cherry picking.
To be fair, in the U.S., like it or not, unless you're unless you're a group, a big name group, if solos, the females tend to be more popular than the men.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's the same over here.
Because it's kind of funny when it comes to American country music. I hate to say it, but yeah, the most popular American country music is "let's go out and have fun" kind of stuff. Well, the thing is, it's definitely more interesting to listen to "let's go have fun" music if it's coming from somebody who's rather pleasant on the eyes. Know what I mean?
So how come Dolly Parton made so many records?
She had other assets.
Yeah, I was going to say from the neck downwards was all right, but from the neck upwards, no, thank you.
From the neck
around since the 90s. What the fuck?
From the neck down, you got to wonder how the hell she doesn't have back problems.
Apparently, she did.
Well, she had 2 reductions supposedly.
I give a particularly tricky about Britpop because this is when, after years of piggybacking on Taste of my older siblings, I indeed found a scene of my own. It's meant a lot to me. I find it interesting how to think about what it was I and other teenager girls like me enjoyed about it. And the ways we used to find out about the world and ourselves. I find a particularly interesting thing about Pulp. There were several experts and the dog pointed out were something of an anomaly in the scene. Yeah, the only band that has emerged with any real credibility from these recent retrospectives. And I've seen as more serious, more interesting, more complex than the rest of the Britpop rabble. But it's been said about pop over the years, but after searching the seating class, commentary, the wit, the irony, the storytelling, the British Downs imagery, somehow I never felt my experience, perhaps as a female fan, has been quite reflected. How so? I mean, you're an individual. And if they're photographing images of British town that someone lived to be female, they would recognise that town. And yeah.
Scotty, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Well,
Lefties, especially the type that she is, aren't individual. They're drones.
You're not
I-
wrong. Huh.
The best mode would do that stuff. Unless you
It's
want
under.
Yeah.
I just saw a rarity in
the.
the U.S.
Yeah.
A toll booth that takes credit cards.
How do you just drive through then? Because can't you just throw coins in the slide and drive through normally?
No man in this area were more mine, and the experience of being a teenage girl at Pulp Fan back then was unique enough and continues below, but I can't be asked fucking reading the rest of it. Go fuck yourself. And fuck Vice as well. I can go fuck themselves. Oh, man. Hey, moving on.
Wait, Mandy said Depeche Mode was good. All I gotta say, Mandy, is all I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Sorry.
The only thing that
LGBT discrimination explained.
Yeah, the only thing that changed with Depeche Mode's the tunes was the words.
Yeah,
They were
you're not
crap.
wrong. You're not wrong.
And there were a bunch of stuck-up upper-class twits as well. Sorry, Scott.
Supreme Court heard 3 cases on Tuesday to ask whether it's legal to fire workers because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Not alone is enough to make most of them free of the most important employee discrimination cases in years, but they're fucking hell. Make the main discrimination cases, but there are additional layers to these cases that could impair all workers regardless of whether they're LGBTQ or not. The defendant argument would reopen long settled arguments potentially uplifting federal anti-discrimination law in the process. This means anti-discrimination shouldn't even be in place. Like whether existing ban on sexual discrimination forbids employment discrimination against LGBTQ workers. Zara and Bostock involved Donald Zara and Gerald Bostock, gay men who allege they were fired because of their sexual orientation. Was there any citation given to that, or are they just making that up?
Yeah, probably.
I know one of my caretaker's jobs, when they found out he was gay, they were trying to find any excuse they could to fire him. So it does happen.
Mark with sightings from Wisconsin bound and go about he earned it. I'll say no more than that. He earned it. Hannah's funeral homes involves Amy Stevens. A challenge him when he was fired by Boston claims he would violate God's command if he allowed Stevens to deny sex while acting as a representative of the organization.
You're not going to do that article about the spider, are you?
No. That spider's not the worst thing you've ever had in the show. Worst thing was that weird fucking Indonesian thing that I still don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
I think it looked like it was coming on the planet.
No, I think we found out what it was, but I've forgotten what it was.
No, there is no DNA. And the sex of the lawman, sex of lawman's only sex discrimination, not discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. These cases that's where the concepts like sexual orientation and gender identity are so tightly bound to the concept of sex. A ban on sex discrimination necessarily protects LGBTQ workers. And also, there's also a first big test of how the Supreme Court's new majority will treat LGBTQ rights cases. The retired Justice Anthony Kennedy was a conservative who has offered the court's most important gay rights cases. Sarah Bostock and Harris Funeral Homes will tell us a great deal about whether it is possible to assemble pro-LGBTQ majority on the Supreme Court without Kennedy's vote. Zooming a little further with these three cases, looming even larger, in 1989, the Supreme Court held the gender stereotyping is a form of sex discrimination. Yeah, are you Batman, are you mind? Will you mind, guys, so we can get LGBTQ in the chat? No. Do you think Batman's going to marry Skittles?
Nope. I thought that was your plan.
Nope.
I thought Skittles was your like safety net.
Yeah, as one of the federal appeals explained in 2017, same-sex attraction is the ultimate case of failure to conform to a gender stereotype. Something very similar could be said about the stereotypical view of people's gender must align with their sex they are assigned at birth.
Generally, this is the case, especially if you want to have offspring.
So the Supreme Court holds that it is unlawful to discriminate against gay or trans workers. It could offend the 30-year rule against gender stereotyping all workers, gay, straight, queer, or trans, cis, or non-binary, could become less secure in their jobs, or even the court could go as far as it could be difficult to rule against. These plaintiffs are carving a significant exception to the broad rule that stereotyping is not allowed. Yeah, it just seems stupid. As the Women's National Law Center argues, the Women's belief that filed on behalf of its long list of women groups, arguments advanced by the employees have accepted rollback protections against discrimination based on sex stereotyping that has been understood by the federal courts. The thing is, this kind of stuff still goes on, though. Because when you think about it, you can still easily discriminate against somebody. You could just say, well, you weren't the right fit for the job or whatever. And it's not given the job.
I think we've found out who Green Thunder's mother really is. It's Mandy.
Mandy's more like Green Thunder's lover, not mother.
No, I think... Hey, you know where Green Thunder's from? Both are entirely possible at the same time.
I'm in Michigan, not the South.
Doesn't matter. You probably
Randy's not in the South.
How close are you to Detroit?
I'm smack dab in the middle of the state. Well, sort of. A little bit south of the middle.
Safe for the middle.
Technically, Lansing is the middle, and that's a couple big cities away.
Yeah, people should be allowed to work with who they want to work with. It's called freedom. You don't like freedom, then tough shit. It's better than the alternative.
You can take our families. You can take our homes and our land. You can take our liberty. Our ability to speak for ourselves. But you can't take our freedom. You already have. Oh.
Did they take it up, or did they take it, or did you give it up?
I haven't given it up.
Fine line.
I know.
Populism and the elites. Why freedom of speech must be curtailed.
Never.
Credit until the media have. I can't read it.
I didn't know Red Feather was Gary Newman.
Yeah, you know,
Gary Newman?
Gary. You know, Gary Oldman's actually younger than Gary Newman.
What? What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, wasn't that Gary Oldman?
Function. Being the average of what gets published.
No,
The
no.
first crack on that was the success of Rush Limbaugh and his ability to reach millions of people with the message of which the vast majority of Democrats with bylines disapprove, but in radio, ratings, and everything.
No,
And it
so
was
the artists you mentioned are white.
what?
Exactly.
It was the public who kept listening and kept increasing his audience size to the great jargon of the editors of the New York Times. Then the internet thing, algorithm, and it started giving other people the ability to self-publish in a way, which allowed them to read in any way, treat to be read by any. It was Little Green Footballs and Powerline, which the boss CBS dudes had attempted to throw the 2004 election to John Kerry, using this obviously forged documents. That was a big first step in destroying the power of the media to hide the truth. Oh, come on. Conservatives had a medium through which they could convey their views to the media's collective order, expose the truth. Now to Andrew Rance the first, and the editor's horror. Wicked people like Trump were able to get information about the idiot's Hillary Clinton, information which helped defeat her inevitableness, the great advantage of our country. Populism refers to a range of political states that emphasize the idea of the people, often juxtaposed this group against the elite. The editors of the Times see themselves as the elite. Politicians who simply should rule the plebeians and nuts to them. Populism is the enemy. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I can't remember who it was, but didn't they say, like, wasn't it like CNN or something that said that we should say it's our job to tell the people how to think?
Yeah, and they also claimed that they have access to things that the general public doesn't, which is also a lie.
You remember they're the arbiter of truth.
Which is why they're called fake news. I still can't get over the fact that the one person was selling a fake news shirt and they're like, how dare you talk bad about us? Like, it did not say anything about you guys or anyone. It just said fake news.
Yeah, well, it's populism. Behind all is the conviction. The voters should decide. The fuck?
Where'd the elephant come from? Also, bless you.
And someone blowing their nose, are they?
Also, I was muted.
Behind all the conviction that the voters should decide the direction of the government, which is something absolutely fine with the elites, as long as the plebeians vote the way the elite believe they should. Donald Trump was definitely not how the elite believed the plebeians should vote. It was hardly the only case. Brexit in the UK, Viktor Orban in Hungary, and Matteo Salvini in Italy. I won't quote the entire article for you, but that would play. So yeah,
I can breathe again.
of the mainstream media.
You done blowing your trunk?
If man is doing the baby thing, isn't it?
Taken out me by somebody who admitted to shitting themselves live on air.
Because that's because he literally did shit himself live on air.
Yeah. Dirty trucker. Mandy's going mad.
What do you mean going mad? Mandy was already mad to begin with.
Mad.
I agree with Red Feather.
Yeah, Red Feathers.
Yeehaw!
Kind of, you know, she's kind of wobbly when it comes to her mental stability.
Aren't we
Aren't
all
we
around
all?
here? Democrats. If we can't call racist by its name, diversity would have made a meaningless buzzword.
It already is.
And so is racism.
Yep. Because it gets used for anything they don't like.
Yep.
Ooh, I may have a link for this. Give me a second.
Politicians accuse each other of being cowardly collaborators who surrender, betray, and capitulate. Commentators on television warn of riots, inflammatory language, and increasingly the norm in public life. Yet, one word remains under a curious remitter. The BBC presenter Naga Machete was only latest to discover that describing something as racist, even in a measured way, could get you in a lot of trouble. For many people of color in largely white institutions, this is a familiar prohibition that works to shut down much needed discussion and create a repressive, demoralizing silence. But then that's all your fucking argument seems to be. You should call someone or something a racist, and then when someone disagrees with you, you just call them a racist.
Mm-hmm.
Racism is a strange phenomenon apparent everywhere and apparently nowhere. People believe that not seeing race or being colorblind is progressive, when it is merely evasive. What would happen if you took, as a given, the 6 centuries of European imperial rule would be astonishing. Most of us, including people of color, would not be shaped by our racial hierarchies put in place.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, such a waste of premises that you're allowed to write this article complaining about it.
There you go. There's one hell of a link for everyone.
All right, Anna Kell, you're the pop batty man.
Yeah, like I said, she's so mad she thinks we're kitchen utensils.
You're such a something racist. The term white supremacy may invoke images of hooded Klansmen burning crosses, but it refers to an entrenched system of racial domination that once justified colonialism and slavery.
Yeah, which is why America. That's why America had a black president. There have been numerous Joint Chiefs of Staff who are black. You have black millionaires in the United States, black billionaires, black CEOs. Hell, one of the first slave owners was a black man.
In fact, the first slave owner was a black man.
Don't know if it was the first. It was definitely one of them. No, I'm not too sure.
I think he was the first official one.
They just don't like. They're just pushing and they don't care about the truth.
Legacies which still shape economic, political, and social orders, particularly in the West. You mean the West, which has the most equal societies in the world?
Yep.
That Western world, yeah. Racism is emphatically not a structure of subjective experience. It has objective structural force that can be identified. Where exactly have you identified it? You make a point and you don't back up your point.
It's like those people who tell you to do the research on their talking point when they
Yeah.
don't know shit.
Well, like that black girl who put up the video saying she doesn't see why she has to explain anything to the white people. They want to be educated by her. They should pay her. You not remember that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen similar ones. To do. As objective structural force can be identified not just in discriminatory practices, but in differing entitlements and unequal access to resources, representation, and opportunities. Well, it wouldn't happen if you were poor as well. This sounds like that sounds like something that's money. That sounds like something that's money, not race.
Yep. It's the same as slavery. Slavery was never about race. It was about economics.
Yeah, go back to where you all came from. It's not just a learning phrase at most. People of color and migrants have heard it, so material consequences include
Scotty,
actual.
how many times have you been told to go back to where you come from?
Not very often, to be honest.
I bet you've been told it once or twice, though, because I have through the course of my life.
I've been told to go home before. Yeah, your fabulous gender spectrum conductor is here, people.
Oh, hello, Grey Wolf.
That's weird. You have a range, but I've never seen you here before. He must have changed his name. Well,
Yeah, I was about to say he must have changed his name or something.
Mandy is already.
not funny enough.
Mandy claims another.
He's just implying because I'm Scottish, I'm drunk. That's racist. I was drunk.
Also true.
I may well have been. But
That may be true, but that doesn't make you any more. Well, it's not technically Scottish is not a race. It's not an orientation or an origin.
a nationality.
That
Yeah, I was born drunk, apparently. Go back to Keltland and Scully. Also, this place called Keltland exists. Its material consequences include actual explosions. Those such as the Windrush children and, of course, discriminatory travel, migration, and citizenship policies. Scottish is the gender orientation in the gender spectrum. To be honest, I could believe that right now. I could. That wouldn't shock me too much if it actually was a gender. Another way of deflecting an engagement with race is to rationalize matters, as the psychologist Robert DiAngelo notes. Interesting that
I don't care.
no one intends to be racist or asking, how can you say I'm racist? You don't know me. A manifestation of right fragility that you created in a scheme. Often exceptionally bad people can be racist, and therefore the mere suggestion of racism is often treated as more serious and hurtful than racism itself. Again, that's because you created it. And we don't talk of fetal syndrome here. Angelo makes the important point that discussions about race are bound to be uncomfortable with members of dominant communities who have come to terms with their own entanglement in an unfair system. There's such a thing as a fair system.
nope. Life's not fair. Suck it up, bitch.
Yeah, right. There are systems that are fairer than others, but no system is totally fair because no system is perfect.
I mean, you do everything right, you eat well, you give money to charity. Next thing you know, you have colon cancer.
Yeah,
Where's the fairness in that?
and you can hear a strange whistling sound a few minutes before DC-10 crashes into your house.
To avoid such discomfort and difficulty is to refuse to change. I know this from personal experience. As another caste woman from India who has benefited from deeply incredulous system. Then you go around blaming the West, and now you're saying you're from India who has a caste system which is probably far worse than what we have.
Yep.
Ugh. I too felt defensive, but there is no way to change things without admitting to the existence of caste or race supremacy. In India, not the West. And deal with
Man.
the inevitable.
I'm going to bring this up. Do you notice they never talk about the slavery that's still going on to this date?
Of course they don't. It would damage their, it would damage their agenda.
Yes, it would. And they're dealing with the fact, the inevitability of complicity and the inherent privilege, the disadvantages of it. At the same time, what about really need leads nowhere. Whenever I think of race and empire in the British media, I receive emails asking what about caste, and inviting me to go back to India to address the caste system instead. People not normally known for deep interest in class matters will also suddenly ask, what about working classes? My retired female manager once told me that although sexism was still an issue at Cambridge University, racism was not. There's no need to put race, caste, gender, ability, or sexuality against each other. There are no free passes in an unequal world where brutality shapes the others.
I'm losing IQ points listening to this.
I honestly don't know anymore.
You know,
fuck that was supposed to mean.
I don't know, but I just thought
enslaving their own, you can enslave your own race.
so. One of the funniest forms of racism has got to be what is that? The mandatory where you have to have a certain number of people.
The affirmative action.
Yeah. Basic. Yeah. That. And I've seen it go as far as the black ladies did nothing and could not get fired because that they were diversity hires.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. Well, the point of that is to show like people use slavery as a race issue.
Yep.
So to say that slavery was just a white person thing and it's the Western world thing.
Nope.
When
that's entirely false.
Yeah, that's the point. That's a counterpoint of using the grey word if he's being serious or not.
Oh, yeah. It's obviously not the blacks' fault that they steal cars and rob or rape women. It's obviously society forcing them to do it.
Yeah, it's white people mind controlling them into it.
There are also no race cars. People, yes, there is.
Yes, there are.
Issues of racial exclusion or abuse are not demanding special treatment.
Yes, they are.
They often arguing against the special privileges bestowed on the majority or dominant group. Most of us who raise issues of racism do so with hesitation. Exit out.
Feeling vulnerable. Fuck off.
Feeling vulnerable as we do so, fearing inevitable social and institutional reprisals meet.
Sorry, she's like her teeth now.
Me, a deemed troublemaker, a position with unpleasant institutional consequences. I honestly don't even know what's going on here anymore. I lost track.
She's rabbiting on about crap.
Especially like this paragraph here. I don't even know what the fucking hell this paragraph fucking is supposed to mean.
boil this whole article down into one simple sentence: white people are bad.
I had to look up Plum. I wish I hadn't. Black people can't help. They're good at basketball and armed robbery. They're also good at running as well. Which you'd think if they're good at running, they think you would actually get away with crimes a lot more, but no.
I mean, right now the world's record for sprinting, if it's still Usain Bolt, that's black, or he's black.
Yeah. And discussion of race is often derailed as bogies such as reverse racism. And of course, it's possible people have got to display hostile or demeaning attitudes towards other races. Asians anti-blackness being one example of racism toward white people. It's not, however, systematic and does not have policy consequences. So,
Man, this whole article saying white man bad, white man bad. No, there's absolutely no racism against white people, obviously.
and there's not a policy consequences. So we do get some bad friends of color declaring a person not to be not racist are also avoid. Well, how is that void? I mean, if you're that racist, why would you have a black friend, for example? I don't know why people are just murderers. Oh, murderers, pedophiles, rapists, torturers, thieves. Well, most thieves. Yeah. Plenty of bad people in the world, but that has nothing to do with race. Yeah. Just having a man does not make men free of sexism in a particular world. Having a black best friend or spouse or even child could not absolve individuals who comply with racism. Language and action in the ethnic minority populations may find themselves used to justify things such as blackface or xenophobia. Is that why fucking David Lammy and fucking Diana have to race bait all the time?
Is it wrong that my half Mexican friend mowed my lawn while I weed whacked? I think not. I just think it's funny.
No one is claiming the victims of racism are pure or noble. People are never purely victims, and everyone has to ask tough questions of themselves. It's perfectly possible, for example, to be well homophobic yourself and a victim of racism. Both must be tackled. Well, unless you're white. Well, actually, no, you just debunked yourself there because how could it? David Lamb, hopefully, David Lamb will never, ever be PM any day at all, ever, anywhere. Fuck that. I mean, she just debunked herself there, though. For example, to be once homophobic yourself and a victim of racism. Well, not unless you're white, you can't be a victim of racism by your own logic. Far from valuing victimhood, which is what you are doing, people who challenge racism are acting as responsible agents of change at a time when forces of violent racism are globally ascending once again. Citation needed. You can help along with apart from South Africa, but you already know all of that.
You know, I think this woman needs to be thrown in a diaper because she's just full of shit.
I think she needs to be thrown in an asylum. And then have a nappy put on her. We can help along by refusing to name it as such. Alternatively, we can do the right thing, actively acknowledging racism existing to try and reign its power. If we didn't choose to have difficult and urgent discussions openly, then diversity would remain a meaningless buzzword, which is where people's bodies are included in institutions, but their voices are silenced.
I kind of want to point out that they don't have open conversations because the second someone comes up with a different ideal than their bullshit, they're kicked out. Where'd Trucker go?
Anyway, and I'm going to end the show because I'm going to end it right now.
Tomorrow is the Insane Deviants show. Like a chill, relax talk show on my channel.
Oh, for
Come
the
on
love of-
over 10 a.m. Eastern.
I think Sucker should know by now I can't see the actual chat itself. I can't see the private chat. Sorry, getting from there.
I wasn't paying attention.
It's 10 a.m. Eastern, is it?
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern was at 3 your time.
Yeah. Should be around. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, stream same time tomorrow. Well, probably gonna be stream same time tomorrow. I might go a bit early. I don't fucking know. Anyway, thanks for watching. You're all a bunch of kids. Goodbye.
Bye.